That first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, it's a strange and fascinating and vivid picture. I love those words. Men of Galilee, why are you looking up into the heavens? I think they turned to those two men dressed in white and said, what are we to do? What are we supposed to do now? Well, you and I are faced with the same issue. Think of this. Just in the last few days, the president says, open the churches. The governor says, stay at home until June 12th. Then the bishop speaks up and says, continue as planned. What are we to do? Well, in that light, we are continuing as planned. Next Friday, 9 o'clock Mass. Next weekend, 5:30 Saturday, 9 a.m. Sunday, noon on Sunday. We will gather again, safely, cautiously. The church is well marked out. We have been sanitizing this place every time someone comes in. Wear a mask, bring some hand sanitizer, and be ready to rejoice. Well, what are we supposed to do? What if someone's got the infection? Honestly, from that perspective, really, all of this is a reminder that one day we will die. What are we to do? In all seriousness, just be ready. I'm not talking about planning funerals, but I'm talking about being ready. If there are burdens, if there's guilt, if there's sin, gosh, take care of it. If there are loose ends, take a step. Every Saturday, for an hour before the scheduled Mass, we will continue to have confessions here in church. I've been setting up in the cry room, keeping plenty of distance. Feel free. Contact me. Make an appointment. I'm always impressed with how many people do that. But back to the question. There they were, filled with new hope after all these encounters with Jesus after the resurrection. Okay. And then this departure, gazing up to the heavens. What now? What are we to do? Well, his instructions in the gospel today, pretty simple. Go, make disciples of all nations, teach them everything I've commanded you. Us? We don't know all this stuff. Well, let's get to know it better and share the little we know. What are we supposed to do? That question came to Jesus plenty of times. And some of the most direct and well-known responses are, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength. Oh, and love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. What are we supposed to do? Forgive 70 times 7. Okay. What are we supposed to do? Way back in the time before Jesus, the prophet Micah answered that question powerfully and beautifully. Check it out yourself. It's a short book, the prophet Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. This then is what you are to do. Act justly. Love mercifully. Walk humbly with your God. To act justly means to have as much concern about the impact on what we do on others as on ourselves. Act justly. Love mercifully. Again, not selfishly, but with a thought for the needs and the wounds of others. Walk humbly with your God. The key word there is humbly. Remember, God is God, and we are not. What are we to do? It's a strange time still. We're getting a little comfortable with it, I suppose. The nice weather helps. What are we to do? Every time I ask myself that, one of my answers is, why don't you learn Chinese? Well, I haven't taken any steps in that direction. But I have done a little more reading than usual. I'm blessed now to have another priest, Father Mike, in the house. I've done a lot more cooking than usual. Listen to that question. Because this, as every day, is a time of opportunity to live life to the full, to make disciples of all nations, to take to heart some of my favorite words in all the scriptures. I will be with you always. This is a time to notice, to take the time to notice the presence of Christ. Which is as much to say, to take the time to pray. Step aside. Set out in the shade. Turn off the noise. Let him be with you. Jesus Christ is risen from the dead. Alleluia.
Alleluia.